Welcome to the latest episode of Fintech Rewired, and it's my absolute pleasure to introduce you to George Rodgers from Hargreaves Lansdown, the UK's #1 investment platform for private investors. Thank you for joining me.
No worries, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Well, fantastic. So we're here at a bowling alley, so we're going to have a little bit of bowling later on. But first of all, got a couple of questions. Obviously, you've spent a little bit of time at Hargreaves Lansdown. I'd like you to tell me a little bit about how you sort of got there, your past sort of history. I know you're working in payments there, obviously. If you could just give us a little bit of background about yourself then.
Yeah, sure. So my background is in tech and product and engineering rather than being a hardcore payments guy. So I've worked for a couple of technology companies doing renewable energy stuff, some finance and trading pieces, and then started working for a company called Parent Pay. So if you've got any school-aged children, you're probably familiar with our payment flow there. And that was really the first exposure I had to the payments journey. So coming from that product way of thinking, my approach to payments is very user-focused. And it's such a classic example of a user journey, which is what I think is really exciting. It's how can we condense this massively complex process involving card networks and banks and our payment processes as well into a little 10-second journey that our users go through that they absolutely love. They click a couple of buttons, scan a fingerprint, and the payment's done. So that was my first kind of exposure to payments. And then I moved over to HL almost 2 years ago now to set up a payments product team there for the first time. So we're in the process as a business of transforming to a product-led way of working. We want to become the kind of fintech of the UK that we think we should be. We've been around for 40 years or so now. The way we take payments has changed a lot over that 40 years. And the goal of my team was to try and modernize that experience again. So we started off with a bit of a drive away from on-prem systems. We've moved a lot of our services to the cloud. We've brought in partners like Stripe and Bottomline to handle our card payments and direct debits. And if anything, that first phase of modernization and automation and just bringing things up to an acceptable level is complete. We've got a much more modern tech stack than we had 2 years ago now. And we've kind of set the grounds for the fun bit, which is hopefully what we're going to talk a bit more about today, which is open banking and all the great stuff that comes to that.
And how do you see that evolving? Obviously, in those 2 years, Hargreaves Lansdown has a very sort of, I would say, traditional investor. So you've obviously got a lot of older people that have invested for many years. How have you seen them adopting, new payment systems, and has that been an issue or a challenge?
Yeah, no, it is a massive challenge. I think it's what makes it such a fun job, the one I have. We have such a broad range of customers, and we even sell quite a broad range of products as well. And so we can't just design one amazing payment journey and roll that out to everyone. We have people who want to top up their active savings account with a tenner on their mobile app, on the bus on the way to work, and they want that to happen in a couple of minutes. They don't really care about anything else other than the payment going through. And then we also have people who might sit down once a year or once a month with an accountant or an advisor of some type and write out their check for a lot more than a tenner to HL and send that off in the post, and we have to deal with that. And you might just say, let's build for that new modern customer on the app and bring in all the fancy stuff, but actually there's a tendency for the older, kind of less tech-savvy clients to potentially be adding more money onto the platform. And so we have to design a payments journey that works for them as well.
George up first. There we go. Ringer.
That's more like it.
This is where it gets embarrassing, I think.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was going to be better. Tough shot, I think. Nice, nice.
Well, that's him.
You are using a lighter ball though.
It's all technique, not power.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ah, well done. Competition's been set.
A bit of pressure. Being kind to me.
You've got to win.
Needed it.
Got that one.
Told me to get that one.
Not good, is it?
Yeah, just a warm-up game, round one. Warm-up game.
Okay, yeah. I guess, you said you've been there for the last couple of years. How has your role evolved in that time, would you say?
The thing that's changed probably is the growth of that product-led mindset at HL. So when I started, we were very much a kind of example team of, hey, this is what the brave new world of being a technology engineering company looks like. And you can get results that way as well. So some of the stuff we did around moving to the cloud and automating our payments process was almost a proof of concept to say, look, if you give us autonomy and give us ownership over the payments experience, we can make it better for our customers, and make it better for HL as a business as well. And we've done that, and I think now we've been given a bit more free rein to do something a bit more expansive, which is hopefully what open banking will be.
I guess that leads us into, you've partnered with EcoSpend, I believe, and obviously that's been a large investment of time and obviously money and so forth on your side. How do you feel that process will change, the way people interact with you, and how would you say that is going to improve the experience for that sort of wider range of investors?
In a word, I'm hoping the impact will be pretty massive. If you look at what we do at the moment, we accept payments via card payments, how we take most of our volume. We also take bank transfer, and I think about 10,000 cheques a year as well. So
wow.
a whole range. And
those are big checks, are they?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not involved to process them myself, but it does happen. What we think open banking will do is bring together some of the best parts of all those different payment methods into one. So we hope it has the kind of great user experience that customers are used to from a card payment, but then has some of the quicker settlement times that you get from a bank transfer. This account-to-account payment or payment initiation, whatever you want to call it, runs on faster payment rails, so it's nice and quick, but it has a user journey that's much more similar to a card payment. What I'd say is that it's not a case of putting all our eggs in one basket and saying, if you're an HL customer, you have to use open banking and you have to start paying us this way. However a client wants to send us money, whatever frequency they want to do it, we need to have that option available to them and then make it as slick as possible. It'll be a method for our clients to use alongside some of the other ones I've mentioned there.
How do you see that working currently and evolving for users that perhaps want to do dollar cost averaging and investing, like you said, I want to put £10 every month and so on. How does that work and what does that look like?
Yeah, and this is why I think what open banking does, the possibilities are endless in a way. It's not something we're planning to do on stage one, but the kind of gold solution that's put up there is this idea of you're using the account information side of open banking to share users' bank account details with them. You can almost sweep their account at the end of the month, see what's left over. Do they want to put a certain percentage of any leftover at the end of the month into a savings account? We could sweep that across monthly if we wanted to, and even then invest it in whatever strategy they have. It's not what we're planning to do initially. To begin with, we're just looking at the one-off account-to-account payments. We'll get those working, prove that there's demand amongst our customers for them, and then look at some of the other innovations in open banking. So variable recurring payments is something which is coming.
Yeah.
I think that aligns really nicely with the wealth management use case. customers can set up guardrails, set up guidelines they want to keep their payments within, but then hand over a bit more control of that transfer of funds to us as well.
And I guess, obviously open banking has been available the last couple of years. How do you see your sort of getting it adopted across your usership?
That's the $1 million question in a way. Like, you can do all the customer research you want, you can do all the pilots you want, but until you get your engineers to build something and put it live in production, you never really know what the adoption is going to be. So we're hoping to roll out relatively soon. I've been promised by our engineering team that I'll have access on my app in the not too distant future. But that adoption is going to be key. We're going to do a kind of marketing campaign alongside it and try and publicize this new payment method as much as possible.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of the challenge is also in the UI design. I think one thing that will help is the number of consumer-facing companies that are starting to adopt account-to-account payments. So most of the challenger banks will allow you to top up via the same payment method. I think that's probably where people see the most exposure. Mm-hmm. HMRC do it for tax payments now as well. So I'm hoping we're almost we're not the very start of the curve. We're still quite far forward, but hopefully our user base will already have some familiarity with what this payment method looks like. It won't be completely alien.
First game out the way. Nice. Again, showing you what to hit.
Just softly now.
Yeah. Look at that. Yes. Just about.
Okay, pressure's on.
It is, isn't it? All right. Well and truly trounced here. All right.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Pulled it out the bag.
Okay, gonna play serious now.
Oh, I've still got to claw back quite a lot, haven't I? Oh, here we go. That's it. That's it. No holding back now. Yeah. Should have warmed up a bit first. Oh no, missed.
Okay.
Yes. Close. The one.
Just to the side though, just to the side.
Yeah.
Okay, gently.
Okay.
Go on.
Oh. Close.
Getting your favourite ball.
That's it, this is the one. Oh,
nice. And I guess, looking forwards, what would you see as, the next sort of payment problems that you're going to have? What do you see as the new sort of projects that you're working on in terms of payments? Whether it's across currencies, where do you see, the next project being focused on? Yeah, definitely. So I think that when we're trying to design our payment experience, there's a few things you've always got to look for. Number one is probably security. And I wouldn't say that gets lost, but it's something we've always done really, really well at in the past. You've got to not forget that keeping secure, low fraud rate payments is a success in its own right. And if you can then start to do things like improve customer experience on top of that, improve settlement times, and improve costs for HL as a business, then that's the icing on the cake. But that security aspect is one we always want to keep there. And beyond that, Our strategy is more customization. So I touched on it a bit earlier, but rather than just trying to design one amazing payment journey and putting that to all of our customers across all of our products, we want to try and tailor it a bit more to that customer's needs. So if someone does not really want to engage with HL that much, but they do want to do some investment, then can we offer them variable recurring payments? And they can set something up once a month and forget about it. Or we might have someone who is much more involved in their payment, in their investment journey, and they want to keep an eye on every single pound that goes across from their account. And so we might offer them a card payment or an account-to-account payment, or they can send us a check even if they want to. And even by product as well. So there are some products where settlement times are more important, in which case we might want to discourage card payments because they're slightly lengthier, and encourage the open banking account-to-account payment instead. So more tailoring and more customization to focus on the actual needs of the user in that particular payment experience.
Your investor base is 1.7 million?
Yeah.
It's pretty huge, isn't it? And obviously thinking of the sort of younger element of that and where their payments are evolving, and perhaps their investment tastes gearing perhaps more to crypto, blockchain, DeFi, that kind of thing. Are there any thoughts around that at Hargreaves Lansdown? What's the crystal ball doing there?
It's always an emotive subject, an exciting topic. What I'd say is that we're monitoring it. It's something you have to monitor, right? It's big news in the space. We want to monitor demand amongst our customer base for anything in the crypto space. But we don't have any plans there at the moment. I'd say that we need a few things to line up. You need demand from your user base, and you also need to be comfortable with any regulatory and commercial risks associated with it as well. So we don't have any grand plans to announce anything in that space at the moment, but it's something you need to monitor.
Touching back on, we were talking about phase one of the payments plan. Where do you see that second phase with the open banking going?
We've had our payments team set up for 2 years now. It's been 2 years, not I wouldn't say of hard graft, but we've been modernizing and automating things and improving processes and kind of getting our house in order for where a modern tech company should be. And that's the part that's done. And then phase two is about improving the experience more for our customers as well. So it means making the journey slicker. It means offering things like open banking. And it means customizing our payment methods more to suit the actual product that's being purchased, and also the channel which that payment's coming through as well. So we want to design something specific for the person that's sat on the bus trying to top up on the app, and we want to design a different journey for someone who sits down at their desktop PC once a month and sorts out their investments with us. So that's phase two, is the fun bit. It's like customization, personalization piece.
That's the exciting piece, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant, okay. Well, thank you, George. Thank you for joining us here today. It's been absolutely wonderful to speak to you. And yeah, thank you.
No worries, thanks for having me. Winner takes all, last one.
Come on then, last round.
Crumbled.
Oh, it's looking good. Nice.
Brought it back, just about. Here's one.
Oh, come on.
Tough.
Straight down the middle.
You needed that on first go. Falling apart.
Okay.
Get one down the middle here now.
Down the middle, yeah. Nice one. Just roll it down there. Yes. It's a bit of a foregone conclusion, but let's go.
End on a high.
Okay.
Come on. Good.
Well, sir, pleasure. Thank you
Okay.
very much. The winner. Thanks, George.
Nice.